Let me tell you a story. There was a man who finally escaped the burning city. His house was gone. His job was gone. His body was shaking. And everyone told him the same thing. Sit down. Be still. Rest. So he sat. But his mind kept running. His chest kept tightening. His hands kept reaching for something that wasn't there. The longer he sat, the louder the fire inside him became. Eventually he said, "Everyone keeps telling me peace is stillness. But when I stop moving, I feel like I'm dying." And nobody knew how to answer him. Because we've confused quiet with peace. And in a world this overstimulated, stillness by itself can become another form of violence. We need to be honest tonight. Addiction is no longer just about drugs and alcohol. It's dopamine. It's scrolling. It's rage. It's productivity. It's spirituality used as anesthesia. Some people drink. Some people hustle. Some people meditate until they disappear. Different rituals, same hunger. And the hunger isn't pleasure. It's relief from being inside your own body. That's addiction beneath the surface. So when we tell a modern addict, just be still, without teaching them how to inhibit themselves, we're asking them to sit inside a burning house and call it peace. There was once a river that flooded the village every year. So the people built a dam. At first, it worked. The waters were quiet. The village felt safe. But slowly, the river grew sick. Stagnant water bred insects. The fish died. The land downstream dried up. So the elders argued. One group said, "The problem is the river moves too much." The other group said, "The problem is the river can't move at all." Both were wrong. The river didn't need to stop. It needed a channel. Addiction is not excess energy. It is unintegrated energy with nowhere sacred to go. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Stillness works after safety. Stillness works after regulation. Stillness works after the body believes it will survive the silence. But a trauma-trained nervous system hears stillness as a threat. Silence feels like abandonment. Rest feels like exposure. Peace feels like vulnerability without armor. So people sit on cushions and call it meditation while their nervous system screams, "Move or die." And then they blame themselves for failing spirituality. You didn't fail peace. Peace was introduced out of order. Jesus didn't say, "Be still." He flipped tables. He walked miles. He fasted. He wept. He burned. Then he rested. The Buddha didn't find enlightenment by sitting first. He starved. He searched. He walked. He failed. Then he sat. After the body learned it would not be annihilated. The Tao does not say do nothing. It says do nothing that is not aligned. Different teachers, same rhythm, fire, integration, stillness. We've been trying to skip the fire. Addiction is movement trapped inside stillness. That's why addicts pace. That's why they shake. That's why they can't sleep when the world goes quiet. They are carrying lifetimes of unspent survival energy. So when you tell them, just be present, you're asking a caged animal to admire the bars. Presence is conscious participation with what is alive. There was a monk who vowed to never leave his cave. He sat for years. People praised his stillness. But when a wounded traveler arrived, the monk couldn't stand. His legs had forgotten how to serve. Stillness that cannot rise is not enlightenment. It is refinement of avoidance. Peace is not the absence of movement. Peace is movement without compulsion. Peace is the ability to walk, speak, cry, work, rest, create, without needing an escape. Sometimes peace looks like silence. Sometimes peace looks like chopping wood. Sometimes it looks like telling the truth. Sometimes it looks like righteous anger finally metabolized. The addicted soul doesn't need less energy. It needs right direction. Omnism doesn't ask you to choose one path. It asks you to recognize the season. There are seasons for stillness. There are seasons for fire. There are seasons for rebuilding the nervous system through motion, structure, and meaning. Peace is not a pose. It is a relationship with your own aliveness. Hear me clearly. If you are using stillness to disappear, that is not spirituality. If you are calling numbness peace, that is not enlightenment. If your silence is avoiding your calling, your body knows, and it will rebel. Addiction is not your enemy. It is a signal fire. A message saying life is trying to move through you and you have blocked the door. So tonight, don't force stillness. Instead, ask a better question. what wants to move honestly through me right now. Maybe it's grief. Maybe it's discipline. Maybe it's structure. Maybe it's service. Maybe it's creation. Then after movement becomes trustworthy, sit. And notice how different it feels when the body is no longer trapped. May you stop blaming yourself for a piece that was taught out of order. May you stop calling survival failure. May you learn when to sit and when to stand and when to walk the long road home. May your fire become light, not because it was extinguished, but because it was integrated. And may you discover that peace was never stillness alone. It was alive, without escape. Amen. So it is.